What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another season of MLB Recap. Trouty, he went yard, and Corbin Burns, he stacked up strikeout after strikeout, same with Shane Bieber. Juan Soto, he made his Yankees debut, and he saved the game, not with his bat, but with his arm. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he hit a baseball that still hasn't landed yet. And O'Neal Cruz, he saved the Pirates, and the Diamondbacks, it might be a long year for the Rockies. If you're brand new to the channel but you want to stay up to date on the game of baseball, hit that subscribe button because we make these videos every single day and we're so close to 500,000 subs. All right, let's start the recap. Now, before the actual recap, I guess, we have a small update on Wander Franco. Apparently, he's going to be placed on administrative leave until June, so he's not going to be on the Rays for quite some time, and everyone's pretty much saying that he's basically done in baseball. The first game that we're going to recap is the Cubs versus the Rangers, and there was some RBI sack flies early on. They were trading him back and forth. The latter coming off the bat of Wyatt Langford. That is the rookie's first big league RBI. Justin Steele, he was looking great for the Cubs, but he was 1 out away from going 5 innings when he pulled a hammy. I hope that he's going to be okay going forward. Bellinger, he laced an RBI double off of Evaldi to grab the lead back. When El Bombi went perfect. What a pimp job. He hit every emo all at once. Now, here's where some controversy kicked in. There was a missed foul tip, which allowed the Cubs to go ahead 1 in the 9th, and he 100% ticked it. Then he lined out, so it should have been one of those cases where they go to the 9th in a tie game, but no, the baseball gods, they knew what just happened. They had to correct it, and Travis Jankowski, he pulled a slider, and there it is. Jonah Heim, a few moments after complaining that the guy ticked it, that run should have not scored, he walks it off, and there's a saying called ball don't lie. That's a perfect example. The Rangers walk it off, and they win 4-3. So let's find the Rangers World Series dance partners, the Diamondbacks, and they were taking on the Rockies, and like I mentioned in the intro, it's going to be a long year if you're a Rockies fan. I don't know how Kyle Freeland ever had a 2.8 ERA back in 2018 because he's just not very good. I hate to say that, but he has a 5 ERA and an almost 5 FIP since 2018. Lourdes, he loves it though. He mashed a 2-run home run, then singled in another, and that started a Colorado avalanche. I'm sorry. Christian Walker, he doubled in 2, and I'm just going to let the highlights kind of speak for themselves. I'm just going to roll them one after another. The Diamondbacks, they popped off for 14 runs in 1 inning. Moreno, Suarez, Thomas, Perdomo, Marte, and we're not done because Gurriel and Moreno, they came up again, and it was just run after the next. And then after a sac fly, there he is, Blaze Alexander, his first ever big league knock, a 16th spot, and Arizona, they're not going to go away easy this year. This offense, they're going to cause a ton of problems. Now let's go find some MLB history. This happened in the 8th inning of the Mariners and the Red Sox game. Rafi Big Scoops, that's a 2-run home run. He is primed for an even bigger year than he had last year. He hit 380 with 5 home runs in spring. I know it's spring, but hey, when he's hot, he's hot. Boston ended up with 3 after a Seattle error when something special happened. I mean, it makes me emotional. Mitch Haniger should have never left Seattle, but he's back home where he should be. A 2-run home run cuts it to a 1-run deficit. Boston, they found a few extra runs on a fielder's choice, an RBI single from Colton Wong, but can Seattle fight back? Yes, they can. Dylan Moore, he punished this baseball 410 feet to bring in Mitch. He had a really good spring, by the way, Dylan Moore. He's always had a really high ceiling. He just has to find consistency, but that's all Seattle can muster up. And there's the history. Tyler O'Neill now has a home run in 5 consecutive opening days. That has never been done before. Some extra cushion for Kenley Jansen. Not saying Boston is going to win 95 games, but their offense is going to compete in every single game. So before this next game, there was a protest as A's fans, they continue to protest John Fisher and his product. I think 13,000 people showed up outside the stadium. I believe that a handful of people showed up to the game itself, but everyone gathered outside for that protest. Bieber, he wanted to help out the cause and embarrass John Fisher's products. He had 6 punch-outs through 2 innings. That's the first time he's ever done that, and his velo was up a few ticks. Is Shane Bieber back? Tyler Freeman, Cleveland's new center fielder. Thank God, by the way, because I could not stand watching Miles Straw hit for another 150-plus games. He drove in David Fry, and Cleveland, they ran it up to 6 runs in the 4th. Andres Jimenez had an RBI. Hedges was blessed with an RBI single. And look at Brian Rocchio clutching up a 2-run double down the line. From there, Bieber took care of the rest, racking up 11 punch-outs over 6 shutout on 83 pitches. I will give credit to Austin Hedges. I hate on him a lot, but he does a great job at commanding a rotation and framing. I got to tip my cap to that. J-Ram, he legged out an RBI triple for fun, and I'm high on this team. I might be a fanboy, but without Ahmed Rosario at shortstop and Miles Straw at the bottom of the order, this could be a sneaky good team. Here we go. The Angels at the Orioles. Corbin was burning people early. I'm sorry for these puns, but he struck out the first 2 hitters that he's faced, but then Mike Trout stepped in, and we know that Mike Trout is him. I'm so ready for a 50 home run, 155 game season from Trouty, but the Orioles said, okay, we gave him a home run. Let's just go ahead and demolish you now. Jordan Westburg and Adley Rutschman, they both singled in a run, and wait for it. There it is. Anthony Santander is so underrated. He blasted off for a mammoth 430-foot home run. He had 28 home runs and 95 RBIs last year. Can he beat that in 2024? Now, Cedric Mullins is trying to beat last year's totals as well, but that's because he only played 116 games and his lowest on base and OPS in years. So this is a good sign. A 3-run tater. Mike Trout almost robbed that. He almost replicated the catch that he had a few years ago in Camden. You can't escape Cedric Mullins. Baltimore, they win big, and it's so sick to see Corbin Burnes slicing and dicing. He struck out 11 over 6, allowed just 1 run, so that is the most strikeouts by a Baltimore starter on opening day since 1998 when Mike Mussina did it. So we all know that Burnes is going to be in AL Cy Young talks all year, but he's going to have some competition, and Tarek Skubal is going to be one of those guys in competition. He grabbed a few strikeouts in the first few innings, and he was pumping strikes all day long. There was a sac fly from Andy Abayas to give Tarek the lead, and that was the game's only run. I know it's opening day, but this could genuinely go down as one of the more entertaining pitching matchups of the year. Tarek was shredding, which kind of sucked for Garrett Crochet because Crochet was really good. I didn't think that he was going to be a starting pitcher. I thought he was going to be their closer. 8 punch-outs over 6 innings. 61 of his 87 pitches were for strikes. Both guys were pumping 100 with wipeout off-speed stuff. Crochet's only 24 years old. Scooball's only 27, so these guys are going to be lethal for years to come. A super tough L for Crochet as Jason Foley, he closed it out with 2 consecutive strikeouts. He throws a zillion as well. What is the Tigers' ceiling? What can they do? Before we show the Dodgers game, just a reminder, MLB Recap is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code Fuzzy to save 20 bucks off your tickets, and also use code Fuzzy on Underdog Fantasy. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. Now, because we just talked about the Tigers ceiling, what is the Dodgers ceiling? Because it could be all-time high. They have 3 Hall of Famers in a row in that lineup. Ohtani, I mean, he laced his first Dodger base hit in Dodger Stadium. No RBI, though, because he got caught in no man's land. Freddie was perfectly okay with that because he knocked in Mookie, and then Mookie knocked in himself later on in the game, his second home run of the year. He has 8 RBIs in 3 games. There's some more Freddie RBI action, this time via a perfect home run. A 2-run home run scores Ohtani, and again, that 1, 2, 3 of the lineup is just not fair. Now, I do want to show Goldie's attempt at rallying the troops, but that was St. Louis's only run of the entire game. Glasnow, he struck out 5 over 6, and here's the biggest thing. He only walked 1 hitter over those 6 innings. James Outman had an RBI single, and then after that, Max Muncy, the finishing touches on a 7-run day. He had an RBI single as well. Can this team approach the 116-win record set by the 06 Cubs, like 1906 Cubs, or the 2001 Mariners? Can they get there? MLB gave us a treat with Soto's debut coming against the Astros, and we know that Yankees fans and Houston fans, they love each other very much, and there's never been beef. Okay, Houston had some fun early on with Chas McCormick. He looks primed to have an even bigger 2024 after breaking out last year, and same for Yonder Diaz. 3-zip in the first inning. Nestor was looking rough, and Jake Myers did not mind that because he went 415 to outer space. Imagine if he breaks out offensively, because we know defensively and on the bases, he's pretty quick, and he's an elite defender. Cortez, he did settle down, and the 5th is where things got interesting because Soto, there's his first RBI as a Yankee. Hit by pitch king Rizzo was hit another time, so there's a free run, and Volpe, speaking of free runs, he walked in another. He walked 3 times. He was very impressive. He looks a little bit beefier, and the new approach could mean big things in 2024. Maybe some of that. Oswaldo, he barreled up a pitch. His home run tied it at 4. Now he's looking to earn some playing time back because he was awful last year. Newcomer Alex Verdugo, he put the Yankees out in front, and that sac fly made this moment so much more fun. Soto, he saves the win. What a seed. Confirmed after the replay, Soto did throw out the runner. Everyone was hyped up. And speaking of hyped up, Hader, he was hyped up for his debut. He looked unhittable. He struck out every human that he faced. Holmes, on the other hand, he was very hittable. He somehow worked around 3 hits to grab his first save of the year. That's a big comeback for the Yankees. So we've seen the Red Sox, the Orioles, and the Yankees all win. What about the final 2 teams in the AL East? Who's going to win between the Jays and the Rays? Yandy, he continues to prove that he is a top 10, 15 hitter in baseball. And Springer, he's trying to reclaim his elite status. He just has to stay healthy. Same with Biggio. Cavan, that's a solo home run. He also walked twice. I think that he can go 20 home runs with a 380 on base percentage. That's very lofty, but he's got the talent. Vladdy, Meet my friend Outer Space, 450 to dead center. I'm hoping that he can keep lifting the baseball and stop grounding the ball obviously into the ground. Alejandro Kirk, he extended the lead on a 2-run single, and Kevin Kiermaier, he brought in their final run of the game. Barrios, he was pretty good. A quality start, 6 strikeouts over 6 frames. Also, I lied, by the way, Toronto did score more. These two off the bat of Bo Bichette, in my opinion, he's about to have the biggest year of his career. He's an extra base machine. Biggio and Springer, all they got to do is stay healthy, and this lineup is going to be one of the best in the American League. Now, if we're talking about teams needing to stay healthy, Minnesota's got to be in that conversation because Buxton and Lewis are some of the most talented players in baseball, but also some of the most injury prone. But this kid, he could hit 310 with 30 home runs for the next decade if he wanted to. That's how good Royce Lewis is. He made it 1-0, but now it's quickly 1-1. Maikel Garcia, he is a StatCast darling. This year could be the year where his power breaks out. And Correa, he's another guy that's got to stay healthy. He gives Minnesota the lead back. And Pablo Lopez, who was dueling Cole Reagans, I mean, this was a really fun matchup as well. Reagans, he went 6 innings, struck out 9, and Lopez, he was just a touch better. He limited Kansas City to 1 run over 7. He also racked up a bunch of strikeouts. He had 7 strikeouts. So just all the way around in the AL Central, from Bieber to Skubal to Crochet to Reagans to Lopez, everyone was out of their minds in terms of starting pitchers in the Central. Minnesota, they added a few insurance runs in the 9th inning. Julian walked in 1. Correa ended up with 3 hits and 2 RBIs on the day as Griffin Jax got his first save. He's going to be the guy as, what's his name, Johan Duran. Why did I forget Johan Duran's name? And I'm just praying that Royce Lewis is not going to be missing a bunch of time because he was rounding second base and something happened to his leg. We don't know exactly what the extent is, but come on, baseball gods, spare Royce Lewis. He had to come out the game. I'm praying that he's going to be all right. All right, here we go. Tim Anderson is trying to remind people that he's TA7. He hit 318 with the 122 OPS plus from 2019 to 2022. He blooped in a double for an RBI. Yes, Brian Reynolds, he quickly tied it up on a 2-run tank job, and there goes the tie because Jake Berger, he ripped a 2-run single. He ended up with 3 RBIs on the night, and Luzardo, he was impressive. He left after 5. He racked up 8 strikeouts. He has a near 11 strikeouts per 9 since 2022. Edward Olivares, I kind of forgot that he was even on the Pirates. He socked 1, and McCutchen, he brought it within 1. No biggie, though, because Sixto Sanchez, he was throwing gas in spring. He's making his first appearance in 4... Okay, O'Neal Cruz has been on a power tear since spring. He stays hot. He ties it at 5 runs apiece, so everything's knotted up, and we have to go to 12 innings to get this game figured out. On-base machine, Jared Triolo, there's an RBI single for the lead, which put Miami to night-night as Jose Hernandez got his first save ever, and Miami, they do blow it. This is going to be a matchup to watch all year long, the Padres and the Giants. Who's going to be the second-place team in the West? Is it the Diamondbacks, the Giants, the Padres? We know it's not going to be the Rockies, sorry, but Webb and Musgrove, they were both cooking early. Nick Ahmed, he got the scoring starter in the 3rd. Hopefully he can find some success in the box because we know he is an elite defender. Jung-Hoo Lee, he got his first ever base hit, I think in the 5th inning, and later on in that same inning, San Diego, they finally got to Logan Webb with Profar, lacing an RBI single, and Tyler Wade, he did his job. He put the ball in play. Now back to the Giants as Nick Ahmed clutched up a second time, 2 RBI base hits in this one. Jung-Hoo Lee, he simply put the ball in play to drive in the go-ahead, but San Diego, they fought right back, tying it on an errant throw from Patrick Bailey. Campusano, he scored, and the regulars from San Diego, they stepped in. Xander had an RBI. The Crone Zone stays collecting RBI extra base hits. He's off to a hot start with 6 RBIs in 3 games. Conforto, I hope that he has a breakout year because he was really good for the Mets. Had that shoulder issue, wasn't that great last year, but a nice day for him. Robert Suarez eventually got the save, and I didn't really have time to show you Darvish's 7 strikeouts on the day. If Darvish can get back to a 3 ERA and Musgrove and Cease can hover around the mid-3 ERAs as well, watch out for the Padres. If you had Nick Martini being the best hitter of opening day 2024, well, congratulations. You are in fact a wizard, and your letter to Hogwarts should be en route via a owl. Spencer Steer, he singled in Jake Fraley, and Martini shook things up. Another pun, I'm sorry, but that's a Martini joke. I gotta do it. That's a 2-run home run, and then some deja vu happened in the very next inning. Spencer Steer had an RBI, and Martini hit a home run. This time, a 3-run shot. The 33-year-old journeyman, he had a 139 OPS plus and 72 at-bats last year for the Cubs, but they didn't have room for him, so I'm glad he's going to get some at-bats for the Reds. Montas and Gray, they straight scammed the Yankees. They're about to go on the same career trajectory. So Frankie, he went from the A's to the Yankees to the Reds, and the same thing for Sonny Gray. And then, of course, after they leave the Yankees, they show off their real selves. Frankie Montas went 6 shutty with 6 punch-outs. He only needed 81 pitches. Eddie Rosario, I guess I'll show this as well. He's playing center field right now for the Nationals. I don't know how that works out, but hey, a 2-run ding-dong, and that was all she wrote for Washington and their scoring. An easy opening day W for Frankie Montas, Nick Martini, and the Cincinnati Reds. Thank you guys for your support. I'm so excited for another season of MLB Recap, and enjoy the Web Gems.
1-2. off the end of the bat. Jazz racing in and diving.
Bichette's got it. Spins, fires, and got it.
Diving stop by Rendon from his knees. One hops the throw to second.
Fraley gathers. Winker tests for two. He doesn't have speed. Throw is there.
Carlos Santana grounds it to deep short. Bobby Witt Jr. slides and throws him out.
Torres leads off, grounded shortly, and a nice play by Rizzo to the glove side. Wow. Nice play by Cortez.
Series champ and now an opening day starter tries to square up a bunt and right away.